G'day, welcome back to my current game of Rogue Tower as we try out the new strategy of shifting my kill zone into the middle of my line as opposed to at the front. So we've got ballisters at the front predominantly with some mortars, and then we move into our AoE guys before we've got a little bit of ballisters at the end. Probably need to shore up the end here a bit actually, there's not too much going on back there. Actually, even if it's like, maybe I just put in some more mines. Not mines, sorry, they are encampments. Let's chuck an encampment in there. He's missing that key spot, so let's put him up one spot. Now these guys are definitely starting to make it through into this section a bit more than they were. So we do want to work out a way to get them getting hit for more damage. So we will just... But the good thing is I think it's predominantly is damage that we need to be doing to them. You can see for the most part, the ballistas have done a good job of getting rid of all their armor and shields that I can just sort of choose for my kill zone to focus on that health. There we go. We're finally getting into the slowing of things. I wonder what happens if this comes across here. This might sort of force that into a corner. We might try and work this way to strategically see if we can end that line. Okay, we've got to keep an eye on this too. I can probably spend a little bit more money to get a much bigger mana pool and a bit more efficiency in mana per second. Now, let's also get a few more mines in here. I think the encampments are actually worth their weight. In here, it's not really going to reflect because I've spent so much money on them. But it's when guys do get to them, they feel it. So let's slot him in there just to sort of hit through this kill zone too. You can see a lot of guys are getting through to here now. So we do want to keep working on upgrading what we've got in here. Because I think the idea that so these guys for shields. I think the idea that we can just focus on health through this section might mean that it's a bit easier to plan for what's coming. It does mean though that I should be shoring it up by trying to spend a bit more money on shields and armor. But also these guys should be leveling their shields and armor a little bit more because they are being told to just focus on that as they see it. The fact that these guys are now going to be slowing guys as well as bleeding them, as well as burning them, means that these guys should be doing some really nice work here too. So let's get two more in here. Because they are also going to be doing a nice job of slowing, and predominantly the harder to kill guys they'll be slowing, which is really good. It is just a lot of guys that are making it through here. Definitely not good to see, but we can see that they are really getting worked down as they come through. It's all damage to health. That's damage to armor. Go the damage to armor. Alright, cool. Well, we are going to block off this lane here, which will be good. I mean, why? I don't know. It just feels like having lanes end makes it sort of feel like you're sort of heading towards an end of something, right? Now the question as well is should I be looking at possibly adding more things to this, or should I be happy with the amount that I've got and instead be trying to increase that damage for them? Probably not wanting to use too many guys that are mana heavy. These guys here have caused me problems in the past. We're going to keep an eye on you guys. They fire rocket things that cause me problems. Let's see how they go coming into this section. These second, third round sort of mines, I think are actually, if these guys are doing a really good job of hitting their kill zone, we can get the multiplier of these mines just absurd. Then it means that if only a couple of guys are getting through, they are really taking a beating once they get through to that point. Nice work, fellas. More range gain. Yep. We might get a few more ballistas just in here. We might even just sort of get some in there just to take advantage of the house. Oh, we're up to 440 with the cost of ballistas. Because we want to be using them also for their slow. And so again, we're going to be putting them on the guys that have shields, that have armor. Because it's not even about doing damage anymore. It's about just slowing down the guys that we want these guys to be having more time to focus on. You can see just how much, it's that shield, no, that's armor, sorry, armor that these guys have got coming in. Just a quick thought on that as well. To me, armor is like suits of armor, which are grey. So, armor should be grey. The grey one. And shields would be yellow. Because, I don't know, yellow's magic. Well, I mean, I would more do blue. That blue that they use for slow. Blue would be magic because it's sort of like a mana bar. And then yellow could be slow. It's hard to walk in sand. It's hard to tell how convincing this is. Like, the fact that guys are getting through... The fact that guys are getting through to sort of here makes it seem like they're like, I'm very weak at the moment, but it's also the point of what this kill zone is that they're meant to be getting sort of through. Say sort of. What we'll do, because they should, let's have a look at mana here, because we're starting to sort of get longer in here. So the shredders are still killing this. So are the mortars. And the ballistas I've spent a lot of 10,000 on. So shredders and mortars seem like the two things that's saying that I should be investing in. So let's get 2 mortars in here, because they can hit all the way back over there. And again, we will... Well, these guys, sorry, are armor. These are armor, then shield, then health. Armor, then shield. Health. So then what we want to do as well is we want to get some shredders in. And so we'll span some shredders a bit more all the way through the map. They're not costing us mana. Let's just let them sort of chip away. If they're doing good damage, then we'll let them do good damage all the way along. See how well these rocket things are a pest. So the fact that we've got strong mines, that it's basically the mine's job to clean up that is working well. Mana's not really a problem at the moment, so we'll just go with the ballistas doing more damage. There are so many of those ballistas that certainly encourage them doing as much as they can. And now we've got Robo Augie here. You can see how much stuff we've given to the ballistas too. Let's just spend some money on some of these mines, I suppose. There's no... They're pretty cheap. So we may as well just give ourselves the insurance that comes with them. Alright, now Augie's at least going slow enough that he's taken a burning there. The problem is, though, that he is visible to everyone because these guys shoot so far. So, potentially these guys are going to sneak through because all the ballistas are focused on this guy. Luckily, Killzone is still doing its job. And Robo Augie hasn't even actually reached the start of my gauntlet. Now these guys can turn to face these guys coming through, and they're definitely not doing well. So we are looking good. Very happy with it. Oh, we've got another guy down there. There's two we can do this with. I haven't bought the siphons yet, but how he's doing burning. 21,000 burning, 8,000 bleeding. You can certainly see his health just sliding off at the moment. He's not going to make it that far in. I do find it's harder to upgrade these guys with the armor and shield sort of bonuses. I think that the overall upgrades for these guys is probably the better way to go for that, because there's no sort of one particular guy. Yeah, we'll take some poison. There's no particular guy that I think is actually who you would say is, alright, this is the tower that is really going to be hitting guys for health or for shield. Like, potentially these guys are also going to be doing health, shield, armor. Like, they're the variety, whereas the idea is that by the time you get here, for the most part, that should already be through. So it's the idea basically is that the ballistas should be leveling themselves naturally, and if they are the guy that is hitting people for shield, then they will upgrade their own shield. And we're going to spend money on upgrading these guys whose job is to just focus on health. That it means that we can focus on the kill zone, but it's the kill zone shouldn't have to worry too much about those things that otherwise, when it was the very front of my line, was a much more significant part of their fight. But we can see there is a lot more armor coming in here now, but they are still doing an alright job of whipping through it. We might just try and upgrade some of these. This guy, say, in armor. Someone must be doing a good job with armor down here. But now we can see that these guys are edging through. Okay, so this guy here, let's KO insurance checks. That has a lot of guys making it through. Luckily, we've just done that investment in the towers. So we should be okay. But we now need to address, alright, what happened there? Okay, let's get those ballistas slowing guys down a bit more. And so what can we do? What was the problem there? Is it too much armor? Let's try and work on these guys a little bit for their armor. And let's also do a quick sweep to see if we can find any more iron veins. Here we go. Because let's be realist about this. So what I've really got to do here is now just pay attention to what's happening here and why did they get through? At what point? It's these guys here, right? So that's not armor, that's shield. You can see the sort of health and stuff that these guys are packing. That is healthy. Like, these guys are jacked. They are strong guys. Doing a good job here. I mean, there's a lot more of it still to come. Let's try and up the, Ah, good job. Just a crit chance? Sure. And this is really where I'm hitting the question mark of, am I better off with more ballistas or more damage on the ballistas I have? I'll go for one there because this will only take him like 6 waves to pay himself off. I made about 6,000 in house protection. There's another house over here that is in that area, and we can certainly use as a slowing mechanism. See how many guys have got through to this point. I guess we are doing a healthy amount of damage though. That guy is healthy. It's a lot of little guys that this is firing through at us. We're probably lucky that we've only letting so few of those guys through. They are still coming. What do we want to do here? Now again, one thing I don't really want to do too much is actually build far back here. Because if I'm building here, that suggests that I'm expecting guys to get back there. The idea is that I'm building here, stop these guys having to do anything like that. The mines are meant to be just that sort of last resort to pick off guys as they go through. So, let's go. We've got 4,000. If we put that there, can he see all of that? Cool. Put him in there. We'll put another flamethrower in there. And one up here. Another coil there. And we will go for what do we want? Just, I mean, all of those guys aren't going to be too strong. It's all about sort of hitting the points of. Let's go coil there. Sometimes I forget what I do to start a wave, and I remember it's because the expand options is now so far removed from where I'm looking. Now, I think that this might be where really strategically I should be looking at trying to stop evenly expanding these out. I already did say that a while ago, I think in the previous video. But I shouldn't make these the same length because I want these guys to hit the attack at a different point. And you can clearly see that keep forgetting that because these guys are all hitting here at the exact same point. These two and this are basically the same length, and this guy is just slightly shorter. We don't want that. We want one of these to be way shorter than the others, so that they're coming in first, and then, well, I mean, I guess this guy's coming in first at the moment, and then we've got the next wave that'll come in and sort of like, so they're scattered, but you can see how packed this is. That is bad. So what I've got to remember to do is just start, say, expanding this guy and keep going, and watch how quickly I forget that that's my strategy. Be amazed at the small brain that I have, my goldfish brain. Because I don't feel like we're doing too well against these purple, all like Krang-looking guys. Got rid of a couple of them there, I guess. It just depends on how fast we're rebuilding mines, really. I mean, maybe what I should be doing is building a few more encampments just along the path, just to try and have as many mines as possible. Still don't have a mana siphon. I still don't really need a mana siphon. Let's go for the poison. Alright, so it's the middle guy we want to make as long as possible. He's got a shorter path, so definitely this guy's already sort of like winding a bit more. It is nice seeing how much we're picking off this guy and that he has to come past this section and have all of this attention almost before anyone else. I also love the colors that these guys are now firing. What have we got? Red. What are we doing? Everything. They're poisoning, they're burning, and they're bleeding. Let's get a couple more ballistas up here, just right in front. His armor. Because they do so much of the bleeding and the burning and the slowing, that's also helping out here. That pure numbers of the ballistas, I suppose, can be making an impact. We have a lot of money here, so we may as well spend it. A lot of these guys are pushing through, but luckily, I mean, these mines are nowhere near as strong as the ones before them, but if those little sprinter guys are really weak and all we've got to do is just lay a finger on them, then hopefully it's making an impact. if we put another encampment out here? Does that work? I'd say we're done for here, though. I don't recall if level 40 is the furthest I've made it. I think last time it might have been 38. So it's not too bad. Definitely progress there. So the death tax, as long as I had less than 33 houses, which I definitely did, that did make a profit. I do think the idea of not putting anyone down unless you're getting 2 for it seems the worthwhile. Like, long term, that was 3% of my total money. Doesn't seem like a real mover or shaker. Certainly the house protection was worth more, because you're actually getting something out of having those guys placed too. In terms of towers, the mortars and the ballistas continued to go up because of their positioning. The encampments actually started to rocket up a bit more towards the end there as well, even though I was spending money on them. So, so that is good to see. Now, I think the other important thing to remember is that there's this so many things that I haven't yet brought out. And are you kidding me that this whole time I haven't bothered to read that there is a frost keep? That if that's doing... Is that the actual keep? Or is that a building that I can place? Because if that's just the keep, then that's not too big a deal. But if I can actually put a frost tower somewhere down here, we will be cooking with gas. And that is almost the exact thing that you need to make a kill zone work efficiently. So let's have a look to see what I have been silly overlooking this whole time. Frost keep. I'm obviously I've had this the whole time, and what I keep doing is I've always read this suggesting that my tower is going to become frost, as opposed to I'm getting a frost tower. That was my own silly fault for not ever looking into this. So I can guarantee that the next video of mine will probably be called Absurd Success with the Frost Tower. Why didn't anyone tell me about this? For the way that I play kill zones, frost towers are an extremely important part of that. If I can make everyone slow down through that incredibly tightly packed build that I do, then look out. Look out. Interesting. Alright, well, it does mean that this one will be slightly shorter than the others, but there's no point in starting another one just to sort of stop it 5 minutes in. Thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Until next time, catch you later. See ya.